Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap, 'cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't get what you think, 'cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His mind.
The Wigan Way podcast is brought to you by Cherry and White Pins, a local Wigan Warriors themed pin badge company with a variety of Wigan ranges. You can get free shipping on all orders when you use the code THEWIGANWAY, that's The Wigan Way, all in capitals, at checkout. Thanks to them for supporting the show.
Okay, thank you for joining us this week on the Wigan Way. There's a bit of a difference this week. We're recording on a Friday. We're going to look at everything that happened last week, so we're not going to talk about Warrington, Hull KR, because unfortunately a couple of illnesses and we weren't able to record earlier in the week. So
That'll come on next week's episode, won't it?
Yeah.
So we apologise for that, and
We were ill, like, if you don't want to be listening and just hearing us coughing and spluttering all the time, do you?
well, they might do, but I don't think so.
Especially not if you've got headphones or, AirPods.
No. Anyway, let's jump into it. It was Super League Round 10. Wigan come away with a win. How are we doing, lads? How's it been? Lewis, you've joined us after your hiatus.
I was here last week as well.
I was.
Yeah.
I'm on last week. Last week was my
I'm
first
still
one back.
holding you
But
to it.
no.
2 weeks
Well,
ago.
yeah. It was. I had a period of absence, but I'm back now.
You weren't on strike, were you?
I weren't on strike. No, I'm not on strike.
Stop grilling him. He said last week he got a new dog.
All they do is bark.
I know you're not a dog person, Dukes, but puppies are very demanding. But we're back and we're ready to go. We're coming back from a win. So always feeling good after a win.
Matty, how have you been, mate?
Yeah, I feel fantastic as well after a win. And you know what? I sometimes complain about the Thursday games, and it was tough going back to work the day after. But I quite liked going first and winning, and then listening to everyone else fight it out. You know, St Helens and Hull KR were fighting it out. So I kind of like that we were in the bank with 2 points and just watching everybody else go again against each other. I quite like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna add something into that I didn't think I would say, but you know what else I really liked? The whole conversation was the league's on the same amount of points and can someone jump ahead or whatever. And we're sat near the top on points difference, whether I think we've dropped into second now on points difference.
Well, Warrington will have gone to 16 last night, but if we're talking about before that happened, we were top.
We were top, sorry. But on points difference, and everyone's talking about, we're all on the same points, we're all on 14. I'm going, we've got a game in hand.
Yeah, that's the good
And I just kept saying it to myself.
We've got a game in hand, but like we said last week, we've had all away games as well, six away
We've had
games.
all the away games, we've had all the stuff that you could argue against us. We've had the come down of after winning the World Cup Challenge, the hangover of that. And we're still on the same as everyone else. We're ahead of everyone else with points difference, and we've got a game in hand.
Yeah.
Like normally, you would expect to be sat here going, well, we're 2-4 points behind, 2 or 4 points behind, but we've got a game in hand, and we've had that hard start to the season. We're in the same position as everyone else, and you know what? Still at the top.
I'm very pleased, and I was very pleased with this win.
It was a massive, massive win.
We needed to win.
It was a big statement, really. Should we dive into it?
Let's go.
It was Wigan win, 30 points to 8 against Catalan. Catalans winning at half time, 8 points to 6. First half try for Luke Thompson and a try for Busquets in the first half.
Busquets.
Busquets.
Him who played for Spain.
Oh,
But your French accent's on.
Busquets.
Busquets.
I thought...
listen, lads,
I
I
thought-
only got an E in Spanish.
I thought Busquets actually deserved his try. I thought he ran really well. Apart from that, maybe he should have been off for 10 minutes for tripping... Did he trip Adam Kieran?
Yes.
He tripped somebody up on purpose. But he might have been back on by the time he scored his try, I can't remember.
I was
Anyway,
very surprised to not see a card for that.
I know, because it was a very deliberate intention.
it must. Yeah, he just threw his leg at him. But I do think he took his try well, because that ball was a bit behind him. Busquets, they need him now, stepping up. They've lost a few forwards, haven't they, in the recent years, and obviously McMeekin's moved to back row again.
And will be moving on.
Well, and he's going to lose forward this week, I heard.
I've heard that, but he will be moving on in general
he's
at the end of the
moving
year.
I don't know about Busquets, but yeah, I thought he deserved his try.
Yeah. Luke Thompson, another man who I thought massively deserved his try.
Yeah.
Probably, so far, I would put there as definitely the top 3 of players of the year so far for Wigan.
Probably, yeah. He's come on loads, and since his first couple of games. I know he was impressive then, but he has come on loads.
Yeah.
And I actually think this time, it was his first try for the club, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think this time, he was looking for an offload. And originally I think Ellis gave it to him and set up on a post, like we do.
And it just kept developing.
And it kept developing, and I thought, maybe he's going to offload, and there was nobody really to offload it to. And instead he just backed himself, and fair play. He's going against Morg.
It's very strange, not strange, just interesting, I think, with Thompson. Because when you imagine him, obviously he didn't get much game time in the NRL with his injury. But when he kind of left Saints, he was a bit like a Walmsley in terms of devastating, breaking lines, making breaks and whatever, causing havoc. And he still is, because he still had to tackle, don't get me wrong, but he's now more turned into like a 60-minute worker. You want him on the field because he's doing big minutes, he's taking the tough carries, not coming on the 4th after, you think he's doing the tough stuff, and I think that's why he's getting a lot of attention. He's playing big minutes, getting through a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I don't really kind of remember a bit like that for Saints. I remember him as being like a bit of a Walmsley, impact, break the line, punch holes, but like cause devastation to
They
the
were.
defensive line,
Like a 1-2 punch, weren't they?
Well, yeah, I suppose Walmsley at the same
when they played together, they were like,
bang, bang,
here you go again, tackle 3, tackle 4, all of a sudden kickers on a front foot, attacking the corners. So I do think you're right, Lewis. I think he has changed his game slightly, more towards the NRL style.
Yeah, just being a worker.
Yeah.
His defensive work. That's the major thing for me that I think I
shot on, didn't he?
Great shot.
It
It
was
was on
a
Navarrete.
big shot. Was it Navarrete? Yeah, it was to hit him on and in. Oh, whoever passed him that ball, was him a bit. Inside ball, and Thompson saw it coming every day of the week and twice on Sundays, and he dipped his shoulder. And as soon as he passed that ball, I went, oh, and bang.
There was that moment that it felt like it was in slow motion, and you could just see it set up. You could see Thompson lining it up, and it was just like, oh, brace.
I love big hits.
Yeah.
And I just went wild at side of you, Dukesy, when he put it on, and I was like, that's why I'm here.
I can remember your words, Lewis.
Some people like...
That's why I pay for my season.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That is why you
some
pay
people
for your
love the
season
chip and
ticket.
chase. Some people love the length of the field intercept. That's not really for me, that one. But so I like the block plays that go through everybody's hands and the dummy runners and getting the winger in at the corner. Lewis is just big, legal but big hits.
Knock his boots off. That's what I want to see. I want to see some boots flying off.
Bring his tee up.
But
That's
again,
it.
do you know, this is...
Bring his tee.
Bring his tee.
I'm just going to jump on to a conversation that we've had a little bit. We talk about the big hits and the high tackles and all the rules that you can and can't do now. You can still put big shots on in this game.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
If you
everyone...
time it right.
If you time it right, you tackle correctly, you can still hit massive shots.
Oh, we've had a couple. We had Tarek
Tarek
Sims on
Sims,
Williams. We've
Thompson.
had Thompson on Navarrete.
And that's what it is. Bend your back, get your shoulder in, wrap. They're the 3 things you have to do. You can still make big, effective challenges that are just as good as any shoulder charge was, or any high, head-on, bang. There's nothing wrong with them type of tackles if you do the hard work. I think the lazy high tackles, they're the ones that are cutting out of the game. Don't go high.
Yeah.
Just, if you're going to go out, you have to get it right. And that's what I think the game needs to just remember.
It's interesting, while we're on the topic of disciplinary, it's that nobody was banned again. Nobody was banned again 2 weeks in a row. So maybe, like what Richard Silverwood said, they went over the top at the beginning and then reined it back to a more reasonable level. But you know what? Maybe the players are just adapting.
Learning the rules.
Well, I think if I take that point, sorry, I'm going to derail us here, but
No, it's fine.
if we look at, there was a tackle on Miski where he was falling and someone come and hit him in the head, and it was on the screen, Everyone's giving it, whoa.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't think it's yellow. It's
I don't
it's a
think he did
penalty.
it on purpose.
He didn't, and he's falling. But the problem is the ref watches the screen, which we've had this conversation about before, watches it 3 or 4 times, and every other time this season, a yellow card's been pulled out. Mitigation, he is falling, but you've still at the end, it's a yellow card. Which personally, I don't want it to be yellow, but my problem is, why have we done that in the first however many rounds it's been? And now suddenly it's not like... The person who sits behind us said the same rugby when it happens every year this. We do 6 to 10 rounds of certain rules and suddenly it just stops.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I've stopped the last few weeks, the cards have stopped.
Which I'm glad, but then I am glad because I don't think it was a yellow, but then why do it for that first... Do you know what I mean? It's ruining the product in the opening rounds.
I think the whole point of it so early on is to get players to lower the tackle.
It's to do with
to cut out the bad ones.
It's to do with the insurance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is now you can actually say, well, maybe we don't need the armpit law because look, head knocks have reduced by this much, bans have reduced by this much, high tackles have reduced by this much. If that's the case, you can then say to the insurance company, we don't need the armpit law because the laws we've put in this year have worked. I don't know if that's the case, but for me, it feels like there's fewer and fewer head knocks than there were at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And the ones that are still accidental head clashes, like friendly fire, it seemed like.
Mike Cooper missed this game after a failed HIA, and I didn't see a head knock.
Ben Garcia went off in this game as a regular interchange and didn't feel good, so they did a head test just out of precaution and he failed it. So he's not playing this week. So I think the ones where there's contact, they're getting fewer and fewer. Fewer people are getting banned, fewer people are getting sent off. So maybe you can say it's working.
Yeah, I'm happy with it because, like I said, I don't actually think the tackle on Miski, I didn't think it was a yellow, but my problem is it has been a yellow every time it's happened. Always, do you know what I mean? That's my thing with it. I think that's what frustrates the fans. They're watching it going, hold on a minute, Burn had that and got a bed for it. Similar thing, he stayed down. And alright, the tackle was different, but he's watched the screen. How many times have we seen it where we've watched the screen and we've pulled out a card and then it happens there? And I think that's why people are getting frustrated.
It's like anything in life. When you implement it, you've got to be strong on it early on. You have to be. You have to deter people from doing it, and that's why they're so strict on it.
New head teacher.
Yeah, they then find that new level of what's acceptable, what isn't, how the game plays. And I'm not saying it's right, but you can't go and say, listen, we're bringing this new head rule in, and then be 50-50 about it and let things slide.
They did do it last year, didn't they? Every high tackle was going for a yellow card in 10 minutes last year.
And the game just moderated itself. And I think that's what happened. Maybe gone a little bit further than all that before, but we've just moderated it back and said, no, this is the level we're staying at.
Did you enjoy, to change the subject back to this game, did you enjoy the 2 times that you got to see Rugby League's smoothest kicking motion?
Oh,
in the first half, Arthur Morg. Smoothest kicking motion. The golf swing.
It does look so good.
It looks great. It looks like he'll never miss a kick in his life. Like you could kick it from here to France. I know Adam Kieran kicked for them last year. But Morg weren't always playing.
No.
But he just does look like he's never going to miss Morg because he's kicking.
It's just such a nice kick.
His mechanics are so nice. Well, we only got to see it twice because
the penalty and the
penalty and the one try.
Yeah. Right. So at half time it was 8-6 to Catalan. How are you guys feeling at half time?
I thought we should have been in front with the. I mean, talk about Patrick Mago. No try.
Yeah.
I think that could have gone either way. It was like flip a coin, that one. I do get where the video ref is in a tough spot, isn't it? Because the ref has sent it up as no try, and then it looks as though Mago's actually scored, but you can't prove it. I don't think it's conclusive proof there. So I get it, but if that had just been sent up as old-fashioned, is it a try? Then I think it would have been given.
The thing for me is I was in the camp of getting rid of the no try from the ref on the field, right? And then I read something and it's changed my mind on it. What happens when the video ref, like with that Mago one, he's not sure whether he's still grounded it or not?
Yeah.
Because if he can show that he's grounded it, he'd overturn him.
They used to put benefits of the doubt on screen.
Benefit of the doubt, right? But I never liked benefit of the doubt because you're saying you don't really know. And if you get a video like that where the video ref can't really see,
there was one on the game I watched recently, the 2007 Bradford game. We were working on something for that, and David Solomona scored a try, benefit of the doubt, and I'm convinced Mickey Hyam held it up. But if it was sent to the screen now, it would probably have been sent up as a try, and so you wouldn't have got. You wouldn't have overturned it anyway. Yeah. So
I think
we're really in the same. We're in the same problem.
I think you see but what I mean is, when they just used to send it up to the video ref, what happens to that then? And the video ref's going, I don't really know.
No.
So the ref doesn't know, and you don't know. The try or no try says, I think it's this. Just check it for me. Yeah. At least then the ref has made a decision, and you're not going to send it back to him going, well, neither of us know.
But it's really so hard to overturn.
Yeah.
It just needs to be... Maybe it needs to be easier to overturn. Maybe it just needs to be evidence that he scored, not conclusive, 100% million definite scored. I don't know.
I think we should go to the NRL system. The ref gives his decision, and the video ref just looks at everything. And if he's got it wrong,
the system.
What?
Isn't that already the system? The ref gives a decision and the video ref tries to overturn it or thinks about overturning it.
Yeah, that's what I mean in the NRL.
That's what we've already got.
But instead of it actually formally going to the ref, going to the video ref,
well, they just
the ref giving try or no try, go and get into the kick, getting them set up, and while that's going on, the video ref is sat somewhere else.
Well, that's
just checking everything.
That does speed the game up.
It speeds the game up.
A different argument.
And I just think then it says to the ref, most of the time, just go try confirmed or no try confirmed.
Sometimes, like even when it looks dodgy, they just go try confirmed because they're checking it.
Yeah, they're just checking his decision. That's my personal opinion. I'd like to see us go to something like that.
To go back to the original question, I was feeling frustrated at half time because we were not completing our sets well.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing that was killing us off. I think that's the big thing that changed in the second half, which is why we ran away with this game. We went back to being the Wigan of last year, completing sets well, kicking to the corners and pinning teams in, not being afraid to kick early, kicking on the third or fourth, and then back in your defence when you turn the territory over. And I remember in that first half, there was one where we got, I think, a bit lucky because we did end up throwing Catalan in touch, but it was off a really bad end. I don't think we got a kick away. It was very scrappy. Catalan picked it up, so it was play on, and then we managed to throw him in touch. But I thought we got a bit lucky there, really, because it was a bad end to a set. We managed to turn around. Do you know what I mean?
The first half, there must have been a minimum of 6 really bad ends.
Yeah.
And we didn't complete well. We turned the ball over in bad positions.
We was losing the territory battle because we weren't finishing well. It just meant Catalan was in our half all the time.
How many times did we drop the ball?
Yeah.
Fourth tackle. O'Neill dropped it once. Ellis once. I think Thompson dropped it once. And that it didn't help us in that first half. But we come out in the second half. We and you had that conversation, Lewis, about our ends of set. Harry Smith, a little chip over. I can't lie. I was absolutely fuming when I saw it come off his foot because I thought he kicked it dead. We talked about ends of sets, and I was really frustrated that we didn't play to try and end a set well early on.
I didn't mind it because the fullback was in the line, and Sam Tompkins said something really, really good on the coverage. He said the fullback jams into the line, so because you're moving at pace when you've got the ball, so it gives the impression of more defenders. And for Smith to spot that, and for Dupree to go with him, because Dupree doesn't go with him, that's easy. Morg just drops back and takes the kick. But because Dupree goes with him, there's then 2 threats, pass and kick, puts the kick over. Catalan don't block both of them, they can't do. And so I think if Smith missed it, Dupree would have scored.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was good for Harry Smith to see it, wasn't it? It was very good eyes up rugby.
It was eyes up rugby, yeah.
Put a pound in the tin.
And then, but yeah, no, it's good, and that's what you want from your half-back, innit? And especially when you got on as talented as Harry Smith, to go out and if you see something, I'm backing you. Yeah, you know, put it on.
And you know something, I didn't think this at the time, but I've thought about it in the days after. It's not a side of Harry Smith we've really seen before.
No,
the being just able to off the cuff.
Oh, he does like to employ the chip for other people.
Yeah,
but not for himself usually.
But him to just go, I'm taking it by the scruff of my neck and I'm going to create as a try. is like, oh, actually, no, I'm a score myself threat. He's not a big try scorer. And he's just added another flash. That's another thing in the back of the head.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip to it, but Miski's last try, we just showed a kick from a 20-metre restart. French collects the ball and kicks and goes long.
When you talk about Miski's try, because I do want to talk about it. Do you want to talk about it now?
Yeah, we can talk about it now, but the point I'm trying to add is it just says, if you're looking at Wigan's playbook, we've got a kick from a scrum, we've got a kick from a 20-metre restart, we've got a kick from Harry Smith going chip and chasing. It's not just Bevan French and Field that are kick threats. We've got these two now. We've got a Bass Miski coming in when we're pinning teams in a corner to add an extra defender. Suddenly our playbook's just added 2 more strings from a board, that we've 2 more pages to it.
2 more arrows in the quiver, you would sort. Some 2 more bullets in the gun, yeah.
Yeah, so you're thinking, oh my god, they've got all these different plays, and suddenly now you've got Harry Smith chip and chase.
The best attacking side in the league just added
2 more.
Harry Smith can chip and chase.
Yeah,
But
we can just boot it long from a thing. We're prepared to do that.
But I do want to talk about that because we tried a couple of 20-tap plays. One didn't come off. You know when they tried to crash over and Wardle held him up and we dragged him up dead ball?
Yeah.
Dead clever.
Was it Icavalu?
I can't remember. It was over that side. Anyway, we had the 20-tap and Marshall hustled to the line. And I could see Adam Kieran on the right wing was flying. And I'm not sure whether that was the plan, because he was wide open for a kick or a pass. But Field come flying on the inside.
Yeah.
And Marshall thought, well, that's an easier play. I'll pass it to Field. And Field could have been, I mean, he probably would have been tackled, but, it would have been opening him up. And the pass goes to ground, and all of a sudden they've got...
Yeah, we turned the ball over.
They've got the ball in our good territory then, so it looks terrible. But then to have got the chance again with another pretty dumb kick, let's be honest, from them. French kind of saunters up to the line, but he says something to Field on the way past. When I watched it back, this game on TV, he actually says something to him. And you can spot it. Once he taps the ball, you can spot it, but you can't stop it. And if that ball sits up, fair play to, was it Cesar Rouge?
Yeah.
For chasing back.
I will say,
if
it's really clever though. He didn't try and tackle him.
No, he pushed him.
He pushes him.
And
it just throws him off.
If that ball sits up, it's a try.
Yeah.
And if you're Jay Field, you don't really want to risk putting the foot to it, because then it could go wrong, could kick it dead. I think he did the right thing by falling on it, because we were guaranteed a try unless we messed it up, which we still tried to do.
And even if they get back, you're now on the 20-metre line.
Yeah. It definitely makes sense to retain possession there. Miski, instead of just feeding Adam Kieran, who was going like a trace of bullets, instead of just feeding him, he tried to score himself, and he was still quick enough to get to the line. Because you can't defend that, can you? You're basically one-on-one defending an entire try line. It's impossible.
You know the funny thing I thought? When Miski goes, they just sort of leave Field alone. And I just went, if he just looked up...
Just pass it back to him.
Just pass it back to him, because he was in so much open
space. The marker
space.
has no choice, do they?
No, he just has to go with him. But I tell you what, defensively now, coaches are going to be taking note of that. And that's the thing I think we did. I remember was it 2022, we played Hull KR first game.
Kick from the scrum.
Kick from the scrum. Yeah. And suddenly...
That was second receiver kick from the scrum.
Second receiver kick from the scrum.
That was so odd. That's why it worked.
But... suddenly, there were just teams who would put the man in at the full back in at the scrum, because teams didn't used to do that, and it was a way of like getting an extra man in your defensive line or whatever.
Yeah.
And you could just see him pushing, and as soon as the scrum would go, he'd make a sprint back. Suddenly, you have to work a little bit harder. It puts more meters in the legs. It's just an extra 1% that they have to give out of fear of not giving it away. That's the love I have for it. Should we move on to... We talked about Miski's try, which was the last try. Should we go to the third try? Adam Kieran?
Yeah, Kieran deserved his try as well. I thought this was probably his best game for us. Although I do think he's growing into this team. He looked a bit like... I don't know if you got this impression, but he looked a bit hacked off. Like he was playing against his old team. He put some serious shots in. He was desperate to score. He celebrated his try like I've not seen him celebrate before. I think he might have been like really wanting this one, and fair play to him. He played really well.
It's weird. I think he's left a few questions to be asked about him so far at the start of the season. He's not been perfect. I would probably give him a 7 out of 10 for the start of the season. Been good, but not been brilliant. And
I don't think
that right side was so fluent last year.
Be above that, yeah. But you also can't forget that not only is he swapping for Toby King, but Kai Pearce-Paul's gone.
Yeah.
And he was an important pass.
And Willie Isa was there.
As well, he's a very important pass that right side, Kai Pearce-Paul. So we have had a bit of a shake around. And I like Kieran. I think he's adding a lot to the side at the minute.
Jay Field's work on this try can't be understated. He's probably having, to our standards, a bit of a quiet season because he's probably not getting the tries we normally expect of him and things. But his work here on this, but throw that ball when he's literally catching the ball at pace, putting a step on to beat a man, and then throws the big cutout ball. To do that all in one motion at pace, it makes it look easy, but it's not at all.
Sam said he won't have seen Adam Kieran.
No.
He'll look past that, knowing he's there.
Yeah.
But he won't have seen him.
No.
He
just thinks by putting that area, someone's going to get on the end of it.
Someone's going to get on the end of it, and they're going to walk in. And it was so clever. And the step, like you said, it was Romano flying up. Steps in, he makes him look silly. Launches the pass.
As he's catching the ball, catches, steps and passes all in kind of one motion. It was at pace.
The thing for me with the step as well is it's changing his body weight away from the way that he's throwing it.
Yeah.
It makes the pass just 10 times harder.
Yeah.
You're now going back the opposite. You've stepped away from the direction you were already travelling and then have to launch it back the opposite way. It's such a difficult skill.
He's made it look easy. But if anybody tried that, 99 out of 100 people tried that on a rugby field at pace, someone trying to shoot on the line and tackle, and you make yourself look like an idiot. Yeah. And you go, how did Field do that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think many players could do that.
No.
Definitely.
There are a few in the league, but not many.
No, not at all. Right. The last try we're going to talk about was the 4th out of 5. Liam Farrell.
Yep. 150th try for a back rower. That's a pretty decent effort. Very decent return there. And they said he was finished after the Hull KR game.
Yeah.
Not so.
There was a bit of me that thought he had a point to prove. He felt like he had a point to prove and he knew he hadn't performed. He knew he'd had a bad game. And he just did the hard work. He took so many first and second tackle carries. Specifically, before we even talk about his try.
Yeah.
Because that's almost the bit that we've come accustomed to. Him getting a try.
The thing he did, and the whole squad did really, this game, was prove us right for having faith in them last week.
Yeah.
We didn't buy into the overreactions. We didn't, start calling everybody. We knew this was a good team, and it was well coached, and we knew Liam Farrell was a good player and a good captain, and they proved it to us with some excellent defence, some nice shapes, which we spoke about last week. Attacking wise, we were okay at Hull KR.
Yeah.
We just bombed a few chances.
And we were 10% off.
It was our defence what was letting us down, which is what we said last week. This week, defence was on form, especially when you consider. I can't remember if it was after the Kieran or the Farrell try. I think Smith and Kieran scored quite close together. Yeah. But between Kieran and Miskey's try, let's say, Catalan had a lot of possession.
Yeah.
We gave them a lot of possession. We defended our line. The try saver on the Catalans' right edge. I can't remember who saved it.
Yeah.
Wardle or who saved the try over there? Wardle or Smith?
Wardle held them up. Yeah.
The held up from Wardle was fantastic. Try saver. The one we spoke about before when they carried him dead. Just a load of great scramble. I thought defensively and in the air, Kieran was great. Yeah, I was really pleased with our defence. I think clearly they've worked on it like we said they would.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, I just want to mention something again. A couple of times, we're still throwing people in touch. This isn't a fad. This isn't a... What's the word?
We're doing it legally, though.
We're doing it legally.
We're not dragging people at all.
No. It's clearly something they've spent a lot of time working on.
It's been coached into it.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
And that comes from the start of the last season to where we really implemented it probably 10 games away from the end of the season we really implemented it. But this is something that's a part of the DNA.
Yeah, back to
And at some point...
back to Michael Maguire.
Yeah. At some point, it's going to be in team's head. Maybe we're 6 behind. We can't go out wide. Then it closes off their attacking options. They become narrow. It's asking so many questions attackingly when teams are coming at us.
Yeah.
Oh, do I risk it here? Because they've got the man up here. They might throw him in touch.
It goes back 15 years at least.
Yeah.
Think about one of our cult heroes, Cameron Phelps. We both like Cameron Phelps, but he clearly wasn't good enough to stick around under the Michael Maguire regime. And when he left, he leaked all those things to the press about gang tackling, hunt like dogs. What did he say on the pack tackles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still in. You know, it's still fashionable because it still works.
Yeah.
If you're not going to go to ground, if you're near the sideline and you're not going to go to ground, you are risking being put in touch. And I know Miski got put in touch. Miski got put in touch this game.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's your risk. If you don't go down, you're risking that.
But you're not going to risk it the one where you're 5-on-1. We're going to risk it every tackle. Every time you go out there, if we can get men near you, we're going to go for it. There was 5 or 6 where we didn't get him in touch. But you spend so much energy wrestling and trying to fight. It takes it out of you in the long run. And that's it for me. It's so tiring. So...
I've only got really one more thing to say on this. Was pleasing to see Havard back. Thought he went really well. I think we'll see him again this week. Doing longer minutes again, growing back into it. He looks like he's not missed a step. I said last week I'm hoping he gets that movement close to the line. He's not lost it.
He just showed that shimmy. It's so good.
He's not lost it, has it? So I'm glad Ethan Havard. He adds a lot to this pack.
It's not often Ethan Havard barges down the door. He doesn't run over top of people. But how many times do you see him when he's back? He just gets to the line, onto your shoulder. I'll get through that little gap. Bang. Now we're playing. He really suits Cruz Leeman, I think.
Oh yeah, he does.
Because he gets you a quick play at ball.
I thought Leeman was great this game as well.
I thought Havard would go back to being the starting prop. After watching this game and how he helps Leeman, I think he'll stay on the bench.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I really do. I think he'll come on earlier than Leeman. But I think for them 40 or so minutes either side of half time, I think Havard will be on the field.
Well, I think now as well because of the props we've got back.
Yeah.
That's the thing you're thinking actually. Well, Burnley's probably more of a starting prop than impact prop. You can't drop Thompson where he's playing. But then
You can't drop Havard.
You've got Havard, Cooper,
England international Tyler Dupree.
Dupree, and before we talked about Mago, and then then there's no real space for Lehman. Do you know what? So this is the thing we've got.
Sam Walters is back.
Yeah.
Sam Walters is back.
Do you carry a second rower on the bench?
Tiaki Chan's now gone on loan to Hull FC, so he's going to be getting game time over there.
Yeah.
He's going to come back wanting Super League games.
He's clearly a Super League talent. Sam Essay is the same. And Harvey Hill's clearly a Super League talent.
Sam Essay is now playing for Cass this week.
Yeah. It's a 2-week loan, but they've only got one game, so I think it might be extended.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I just think that, Thompson at the minute is doing the first 20 and the last 30 or so, 35. That is Havard's role, really.
I think he'll do the opposite of it, me. I think he'll come on before Thompson comes off and then stay on after Thompson comes back on.
Yeah.
And leave the last 20 minutes and the first 15. I think he'll do that middle 45, 50.
Yeah.
And give us that constant, ever-present,
and Dupree
basically be Thompson.
Dupree can do the rest of that 35 minutes. Yeah.
I think Dupree will do what Thompson doesn't.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And you just got a luxury then of Patrick Mago.
Giving Kate Ellis a rest. Definitely filling at 13.
Yeah.
The ball playing 13.
I was going to say, well, this game, Mago, we said that, didn't we? Taking throwing a couple of passes when first receiver.
He's definitely come on with that. He come on leaps and bounds, and it's good to see.
Leading.
Ellis has come on loads as well.
Yeah.
It goes without saying because we always mention how good he is, but from when Ellis started at Wigan,
he is so good.
He is so much
his
better.
His defence is massively improved.
He has improved his defence. But his all-round game's better. He's much more smart now.
Yeah. Right. I think that wraps up the Wigan Catalans game. Great win. Great to get back into winning ways, and hope it carries on. We'll be back shortly. Thank you for coming back after the break. We're now going to talk about the rest of the Super League. Some shock results, lads. Some
good games.
Some really good games.
Some blowouts, some good games, and one very, very, very close game.
Yeah, I think it was a really good week for Super League.
I think it was a good week for Super League as well.
I know we've not said the games, but two could have gone either way. One, a shock, and then two, probably as you expect, is a good week of rugby league.
I draw.
Yeah. So, first one was Huddersfield Salford. The first one that really was exciting for the last 20 minutes. It kicked to life. Salford were 18-6 up.
No, 18-0.
18-0 up, sorry. My 18-0 up. Huddersfield scoring 16 points in the last 10 to 15 minutes.
Nenny McDonald was superb.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
It's so good.
Yeah. He is really, really good, isn't
Really, really good. And it's come down to a missed kick from Connor. Can't really do much of this kick. It was a tough kick and one that you can't be too bothered about.
What do you want to say about this game? Red card for Wallace for his moving his head towards another human being.
I've got no problem with it. Don't use your head. You can't headbutt someone.
No, but
why is your head going like that? You see it all the time in football. They put their heads together as if like, go on, headbutt me. And no one does anything. And it makes the game look stupid, first of all.
Do you think Cade Ellis headbutted somebody last year in the Warrington game? Or do you think he did that where he was rutting?
I think he went to do that. I think Ratchford was further away.
Ratchford's nose did get plastered all over his face, to be fair. I do think that Ellis probably deserved his ban, and Wallace didn't. Wallace hasn't got a ban.
I was going to say, did something happen? Did he not get banned?
He didn't get banned.
So it got overturned, did it?
Well,
no,
I
it's
think
not been overturned.
they said the punishment was sufficient.
Right, okay.
Which I'm okay with. If they said the red card's sufficient, I'm alright with that. I think this was not as bad as Cade Ellis's.
I don't think it was
But I
as
still
bad
think
either.
it's a red card. Don't put your head near someone
No,
else.
it was daft.
You know, you put your head near someone else, I'd just say, right, I can lay him out. Like, start swinging. Like,
Yeah,
it's such a cheap thing to do to try and headbutt someone. When you're like arguing and like squaring up, to just throw your head at someone.
It's because he dropped the ball near the line and he was upset. But you still can't go around doing that. So I think red card was right. They actually kicked him into gear. Bibby went onto the wing and scored. Jake Bibby, you sent me a highlight reel this week.
I know.
You sent me a Jake Bibby highlight reel from when he played for Wigan.
Jake Bibby highlight.
He had so many good tries.
He could finish a try and half.
Set to Supersonic by Oasis. Jake Bibby 2022. Was it 22 or 21? 2021 highlight.
He can score a try. Right. That was probably prime Bibby when he was bald with a beard.
Yeah, bald beard. If you type in Wigan Warriors, the first picture that comes up is Jake Bibby. And I think it's because whenever we're in the news, he always used that picture, so it's always Jake Bibby.
Right, let's jump over to the second game. Quite close at half time, Leeds winning 22-4. Ran away with it a little bit more in the second half. Game finished 46 points to 8. I can't really look into it much more than that.
No, well, one thing did happen that's interesting. The plumber from Sydney scored, Ethan Natoli.
Yeah.
Good story that from before the season when I said they signed a guy who was a plumber from Sydney and it was his first game and he scored. So fair play to him.
Been injured, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. He's a second rower.
Does this take the pressure off?
No.
Not
Rowan
a chance, no.
No, beating London it's a expectation of it's
Absolutely.
that isn't a sigh of relief. That's a go on, you beat London, but that would have been straight swept under the carpet. Who we got next week?
When he goes to France and wins, then we can have a conversation.
So they've got this reason.
And we can have a conversation.
Massive game.
For me, no, there's no pressure lifted from beating London. Unfortunately, it's a free 2 points at the moment.
I think that's a fair assessment. Right. Final game on Friday was Warrington versus Hull. 12-0 at half time. 24-6. Tom Briscoe getting a try for his old back to Hull FC after returning.
Yeah, second debut or
Well, you want to call it.
second debut, isn't it?
But one of the things I really love, and I think this is why he's a clever signing for Hull FC, is the meters he offers. Experience. Knows what it's like being difficult. He was there through that Leeds time, from his difficult time at Leeds, and he's so much experience that he'll just help this young Hull side. I don't think he's going to be holding anyone back in terms of stopping player development.
No.
But he'll provide so much experience.
I think he's a smart signing as well.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be very expensive.
No.
What do you make of the... I mean, you're the biggest Sam Burgess super fan, Lewis. What do you think of the Burgess-Myler beef?
First things first, I think Myler's got some serious minerals. Like, he has got some... He is brave. He's either brave or stupid, innit? Like, you know what I mean, taking on. So, yeah, I think probably everybody knows what's happened, but just a kind of very quick rundown. So, Warrington put on the 17-man... Correct me if I'm wrong here. Warrington put on the 17-man team sheet a player that was not named in the 21 officially.
Yeah.
Apparently the 21 that went on the social media, for example, included said player, but the one submitted to the RFL or whoever the Super League did was not on it. So there was a mix-up and admin error there from somewhere. The penalty for that, the official penalty, is that you lose an interchange. You go from 8 down to 7. Burgess has gone to Hull, Richie Myler, and said, look, it was an admin error. If you look at our social media, it's on there. There's something's gone wrong. It's been a mistake. Are we okay to play this play? And can we go back to 8 interchanges? Wanted to try and settle it and get the game sorted. And Hull have said, no, the penalty is it's 7 interchanges.
And the rules.
That's how it's got to go, I'm afraid. So Burgess wasn't very happy before the game. He didn't come out and speak to Sky. He said he was in a room talking to somebody. Probably a heated conversation. Had a very kind of... Jenna Brooks asked him about it full time. He had quite a thing to say about player welfare and protecting players.
Player welfare,
and
but sends Matt Duffy out when he's got
Josh Thewlis.
Josh Thewlis with stitches in his head.
What a weird answer it was.
And
I'm really sorry, Liz, and I know that you love Sam Burgess more than anyone else. But this is petulant. It is such a bad look for the game. You messed up, not Sam Burgess personally, Warrington. You messed up. The punishment is this. Go and ask him for it back. Would you do it in the grand final?
Yeah.
Would you want Wigan to give Warrington a sub back if they did that in a grand final?
I don't mind him asking the question.
Would you want Wigan to say yes in a grand final?
No.
There you go.
Well, I don't mind him going asking, and I don't mind Hull turning him down. What I mind is
the attitude after it, that it's player welfare.
Yeah, I don't like that. But I think he's well within his rights to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. He might say, "We'll take the sporting method, and we'll give you 8 interchanges." Hull are well within their rights to turn it down, though.
So Hull FC, a team that can only beat London. They've only beat London this year.
Yeah.
They've got the squad of up to number 45 or whatever it is.
More now because Techie Channel beat more.
Yeah, and Ben Reynolds got up to 47. But we're going to Warrington, who are on 14 points. They've messed up, and we're going to do the sporting thing and give you a sub back. Get over yourself, lad.
Still very brave at Mile that make a comment though as he's walking
He
past.
made a comment, didn't he?
Apparently that's so again. No one sound like Buzzy. No one knows. No one was there. But we don't.
That in the thing.
Apparently that's what's come out. That's why they did the little shoulder badge thing and had a bit of a word in the tunnel or something.
Everybody was in the room.
Yeah, that's you did a better impression than me, man.
We don't know what happened. Nobody was in the room. Oh look, anything could have happened.
For all you NRL 360 fans.
If you like NRL 360, we just need someone to get a good impression of James Graham, and we can have an actual conversation.
I've got to finish on this. That just winds me up from Burgess. That shoulder charge. Like, what are you trying to achieve from that? Throw your weight around that I'm Sam Burgess and you're out of order for saying something.
I think it's just seen red. I know it's still not right, he needs to control himself, but even in his post-match interview, he was holding stuff back. He was very... Yeah. I know he's an head coach now, and that's some good experience. He needs to rein it in and be a bit more cool-headed, I think. That was the Sam Burgess, the player coming out, I think.
Right. So I said to you a second ago, would you want Wigan to give the subs back? Throw another one to you. Would Matty Peake do that?
No.
Do what Burgess did. And then come out into a press conference and go, about the player welfare.
No, he wouldn't do that.
I don't think Sean Wayne would do it.
He's more likely to than Matty.
He's more likely to, but I still don't think he would. Would Paul Wellens do that?
The problem we've had...
Would Steve McNamara do that?
The problem we've got now with Sam Burgess is we can no longer have the conversation of which coach would win an over-the-top rope battle royal. Because it's obvious.
Well, yeah, but would anyone?
We can't have that conversation of Ian Watson, sorry, you're out. And McDermott, he was always the winner for years. But now, there's no one touching Slamming Sam.
There's no one touching Slamming Sam, but stop trying to be... Oh, nah, I'm not that stupid. I just don't understand what he hopes to achieve, what anyone is expecting, and then people talking it up as if, like, now it should be some feud. Hold.
It's not really a feud, is it? Sam Burgess versus Richie.
I'd love it to become a feud. That would be really interesting.
But
imagine if we got to the... It's on BBC.com. Feud. Bitter feud.
I don't want to be on. All I've seen, don't have a coach.
No, I think Scott Briggs is going to be the coach.
He's still interim. They've got no squad. They've won one game at home to London by 4 points.
They've got no squad, they've got 47 players.
Well,
Yeah.
they've not got a decent squad, should I say.
Do not.
Jaden Ockenball can't get out at reserves.
No.
Like,
Well, that's why they brought Tiaki in.
and now you're doing that. Why are you getting dragged into it? You know what Burgess should have said?
You've got to tell them.
He should have said, we'll beat you with 4 subs. Should have only used 4, because they'd still beat them. And just say, right, we're not bothered. We'll beat you with 6, whatever.
Josh Steelers did look funny with his headband on, though, didn't he? It looked like he'd had it.
But to do that,
Terrible.
and then complain about player welfare in a game you probably already won.
They were
So-
literally seconds away from losing the interchange because Steelers passed his head test, but needed that thing bandage on his head. So they were literally, while he was running onto the field, still fixing that bandage. Because if he didn't get on within 5 seconds, they were losing the interchange. But yeah, interesting game. Well, we've talked about it a lot more than we should have talked about Warrington 24 Hull 6, really, because if you'd have said to us last week, Warrington will beat Hull FC 24-6, and Josh Steelers will score a hat-trick, and Tom Briscoe will score, we're like, oh, right, yeah, that makes sense. That's
to be fair, I do think it was. I give Hull a little bit of credit. I thought they defended a little bit better.
That's what we'll talk about. We'll talk about Hull kept them to 24. That's
I don't
not
think
bad.
Warrington were firing. I think they were just in second gear.
But we've actually spoke about it for a lot longer because this weird situation with the missing
Creates a
sub.
stupid headline that takes away from the game. It's like when Kenzie or fella Paul, amateurish rugby league is tweeting that.
The way the Raging Bull got loose.
Yeah,
Catalans.
yeah. We just do stupid things to shoot ourselves in the foot when we should be talking about Salford hanging on.
Josh Steelers scored a hat-trick in this game, and I feel like we just brushed over it.
Yeah.
And he had 15 minutes on head test.
No, I just... No.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Right. My second favourite part of the week. Number 1 is always Wigan winning.
Rugby league part of the week, because, our cricket team did win as well.
Yeah. But Saints lost.
Saints did lose.
Saints did lose. The smiles in this room, I just love it.
Just been talking about professionalism.
I know.
Matty Pete do this, and now he's been a little jailed because Catalans has lost.
But
Sam Birch is the petulant one.
I'm a fan.
That's it, go on, Juicy. You tell us why you're happy. Tell us why you're happy. Tell us about this game.
It was. I thought the first half was really close. It showed in the scoreline, but I don't think you could split it. Sometimes when games are close, you can go, well, they've been the better team, but they've struggled. I couldn't really pick a team that I thought was on top. 16 points to 4, half time, and I was going, this could go any. 16 points to 14, sorry.
Yeah. Hurrell had scored. Crash over, surprise.
I was sat going, either of them could win this. This could go 2 ways. Saints could have the extra fitness and the energy because the OKR playing Wigan. It could have caused them issues. Saints going to Craven Park, that's an issue. There were so many questions at half time where I was going, I can't pick a winner here. And then I don't know whether Saints played poorly. Well, OKR that good. To win the second half 24 points to 6.
You know, I often say that we don't market our game well enough. And I often pick at tries that we should use to market our game. And the one I always use is the Dominic Young against Samoa try at Newcastle.
Yeah.
Jack Broadbent's try from this game was so good.
It's exactly what rugby league should be. So fast, everything was so quick. Everything happened so quick. The defenders did nothing wrong, but it was just too quick. Everyone made the right decision. It reminded me of who scored the try last year? Bevan French scored a try against Warrington at home last year.
Yeah.
You know, where we just shifted it on and Farrell shipped it on at the right time and Wardle beat his man and passed it back inside. And it just felt like everyone made the right decision at the right time to send Broadbent over. And I just love that try.
I really like this signing. Okay.
I think it really, really, really works.
I think he's... Obviously, Gildart's now out injured.
Broadbent and Burgess, or was Burgess playing with Hiku? So it was Broadbent as Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As a new
I think Broadbent has claimed that left-hand side over Tom Opacek.
Yeah. He has.
Opacek is naturally a right centre, and I think he's been the one to miss out because of Hiku moving into the centres. So I think Opacek's been unlucky there. But Broadbent has definitely got that left-sided centre ahead of Opacek.
Yeah.
At least until Gilly returns. He might keep it off Gilly.
Well, he's out for a while. He's 2 months, isn't it? So we'll have to wait and see. You know, the team could look a lot different by then with other injuries or suspensions or something. We said a few weeks ago, Hull KR have now got to go to Catalan, play Wigan and Saints at home, and go to Warrington. And they've taken, spoiler alert for next week's episode, but they've won 2 out of 4. They beat Wigan and beat St Helens. They are
against the entire top 4.
They are a great side at all. And that means, because they've won 2 out of 4 from the top 4, the best 4 teams, they're within touching distance. So now they've got an easy run. They keep winning. They win the next 4 winnable games, next 4. They'll be up there.
That's the thing though, isn't it, what you said there? I think that's what's going to take OKR to the next step. So okay, doing it at home, getting yourself up for Wigan and Saints when you're at Craven Park, and I was saying last week, Craven Park in my eyes, becoming like the Headingley, a bit of a fortress with the fans and stuff. But again, a bit of a leak into next week episode, what we're discussing. It was a Thursday night away at Warrington, a long away day on a Thursday. Have they got the ability to go and do it? And I think that's what's going to take them. I know it's a bit of a cliche, pretenders to contenders, but I think that's the next step. Can you go and actually do it away from home, beat those big teams in their own backyard?
It's the question that's still thrown at Catalan.
Yeah.
But then we always say, you don't want to go to Catalan in the playoffs. You don't want to go to Craven Park either.
No.
It's going to have a lot of importance to them top 2 positions.
It is 100%.
And you know what? Between 4 and 5, finishing 4 or 5, like it was last year when it was Lee, Hull KR, and Lee had to go to Hull KR.
Well, let's say, for example, Hull KR finished 2nd and Catalan finished 4th. That's 2 good teams going to them places.
Yeah.
To have them to win.
Yeah, it's a real situation. The only one thing I want to mention about Hull KR, because obviously this is a great win. 40 points to 20 against Saints is a great win.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, who you are, that's a brilliant win. We saw this last year. They got off to a really good start last year. Hull KR. They won the semi-final, in the Challenge Cup. They didn't time the back end of the season right. The playoffs came round, and they were out of that game in the first 15 minutes. If we're brutally honest. Do you think they've learned from the mistakes of last year?
You can't really tell that until the playoffs.
Exactly. I think there'll be questions about Hull KR until they get it right at the back end of the year.
Don't want to go there in the playoffs.
No, I don't want to go there in the playoffs.
Don't want to go there in the playoffs. Got to finish above them.
Mm-hmm.
Got to finish above. I think if you want to win the league, you've got to finish above them. You've got to avoid going there.
I definitely agree.
Which is a strange thing to say, but we have said something similar about a few other teams in the past. Catalan, usually. I still think that's true for Catalan. I still think they're going to be hard to beat at all.
Can I ask you something? You're picking a grand final opponent. Would you rather play Hull KR or Saints?
In the grand final?
In a grand final, a big game, the one that matters most.
You'd say okay.
I'd rather play Hull KR.
Saints have been there doing it and worked.
And that's it. They've got to get there and show that they can still win games at the back end of the year. Because there'll always be a question mark until you get there.
Yeah. They will.
Catalans have shown they can get to a grand final and put in a good effort.
Warrington, so.
Warrington have done it. Hull KR have got to do it now. Before, I think they go from being the best of the rest outside that top three
to being a bona fide big, well,
becoming one of the
five.
big four, big five.
Big five, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. Warrington are in there.
Because let's say they do really well this season and don't make it to Old Trafford. The question starts about, can you do it when it matters?
What if they win the cup?
If they win the cup, yeah, maybe. Well, I've seen them won the cup a couple of times, never put any big real challenges in there.
If Warrington or Hull KR win the cup, or get to the grand final, I think that takes our big three that we always talk about
To a big four.
to a big four.
Yeah.
I really do.
Maybe a big five if it falls that way.
If they both do it, that could be a final.
If it's the Challenge Cup final and it's a really good game and someone wins it close, I think it moves both of them up there.
It could do.
But
Especially if they both
Warrington
do well.
have been to a grand final.
They've come, I can ask them close to winning too.
Yeah.
At least
They
two.
sort of know what it's like. They've got players in there that have won them.
I don't
Sam
know.
Powell, Toby King, George Williams, something all in common. But they've got players who've been there and won it.
They've
Joe
got a coach who's been there and won it.
Joe Bullock's been to one. You know what I mean? I know it was the COVID year. Okay, I don't have that. They've got Gillian Budgie. Parcell won at Leeds.
I would bet.
I would bet he did. That's three.
Obviously, Kenny Dell's finished now. Peter Aku wouldn't have been playing for the Cowboys, and they won it, would it?
No. So I just think there's that question mark over, can you do it at the back end when it matters? And that's where we'll care. I hope they prove me wrong and join the Big Five and make it a Big Five. I really, really do.
I would like.
Yeah.
We said last week, every team should be difficult to beat away from home. We need our big guns firing. We need LFC firing. Hull KR firing. We need Bradford back in firing. Tough place to go. Salford, tough place to go. Huddersfield, tough place to go. That's what we need.
What about Saints? What do we think? Blake away from home, a tough place to go, or panic, squeaky bum time?
I don't think it's squeaky bum time.
Sorry, I'm just Jesus
Squeaky bum time.
Podcast. Forget what we
Only
call it.
because they're still missing Walmsley.
Squeaky bum time.
They're still missing Party. And they're two big players to be missing.
They've been missing for a while.
They're going to miss them for a while. And if they can get the top six and get them two back, who knows? Yeah, I wouldn't want to play them. Yeah. Saying that about every team. There's no one that I'm sat there going, I'd love to play them. I have so many questions about the three quarters.
Well, so does Paul Wells, I think.
So does Paul Allen. They signed Teal Whitson after his loan and he can't get a game.
He played in this game, didn't he?
Why is John Benison not playing? Why are we playing Blake on the wing? Percival's the best centre, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So he slots in on that left centre because he's a left centre.
Yeah.
How is Conrad Hurrell still getting a game at right centre every week? Because the only reason I can see is he's a threat from a crash over.
He did score 2 crash overs.
But that's his threat. Is that your only go-to attacking option? Is
I
that
think
all?
it's if you're a team that's playing well, that's a really useful backup plan. / one of your, like we talked about before, one of the bullets in the gun. I don't mind it. If it's your only option, you're in trouble.
I'm worried. And the other option is Wonga Blake, who I'm still not made up defensively. I don't think he's the most mobile. And he's playing out on the left wing.
I mean, I'm not bothered if you want to play one Blake in the props or the wing, whatever. You can do whatever you want, Paul Wells. I don't care.
I just think...
I still think there'll be a decent side come business end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously. I just think if we're lining up, and you could clip this up in the future, you know what, and do whatever you want with it. But if you're lining up in a grand final, Jay Wardle against Conrad Hurrell, Liam Farrell on his inside, they're going to work him over. They're going to make him defend. They're going to ask so many questions.
But then again, are they going to have, like Good Friday, are they going to have all the ball, so which you can't do that?
To which you can't do that, yeah.
we need, if we're going to do that to Conrad Road,
We've already seen with the rules.
our forwards need to roll them in the middle.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
definitely, and
can't
we
do
didn't. And we didn't.
No.
But we've seen the pros and the cons of Conrad Hurrell throughout this season.
They could go with him.
And he is a massive X factor, try scoring option.
Yeah.
But he is a massive risk defensively.
I think they're okay with that.
I think they're okay with that. I wouldn't be personally. But if they're okay with it, they're okay with it. And that's the way the game goes. There's not much else to say.
It's what you get with some players, isn't it? You know, some players you take and you know that they might make an error, they might drop the ball, but they've got it in, and you'll play them, they'll do good, but they might give a penalty away every game. So it's just in the nature, and I think that's something it's give and take with Hummel, isn't it? You know he's there for the crash ball, and he's a good option. He'll probably get you a try, but with that comes he's got his defensive liabilities.
Do you know when he was at Leeds? I remember a game, and he might have scored. He was involved in 3 tries. I think he ran over someone. Tom Davis, I want to say, caught a high ball near the line and got flattened by Hurrell. He dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And Leeds scored, and he did something else and he scored. And in the second half, they ran all over him, and we ended up winning through going over Hurrell.
This was against us?
This was against us. This must have been 5 years ago.
Right. I was thinking that Davis.
Sorry, no. When he was at Wigan. And I always remember that, specifically because twice he got Tom Davis and someone else, I can't remember who the other player was, and said, it's alright, and I patted him on the back.
Didn't he smash John Bateman
Yeah.
in the same game?
Yeah, it might have been John Bateman, because it was the right side.
John Bateman gets smashed.
But we ended up going over the top of him, and he wasn't there to do it in the back half of the game, and that's it. If it becomes a points fest, I don't want Conrad Hurrell in my side.
Well, he's not, so we don't have to worry about that.
Right. Last one.
That was a smooth segue there, Matty.
Well, I want to talk about the draw.
Yeah. Good game.
Why do we have to go to Golden Point for this?
I don't know. This game deserved a draw.
Can Golden Point not just be left for playoff games, knockout games?
We've said this before.
Because scoring so late on like Castleford did, they deserved a point, and Lee deserved to drop a point for it. In that 10 minutes, Lee had all the possession.
My dad said the creepy kicker has to kick it because he looks at the post dead creepy done in Roe Mills. He's a good goal kicker though. He was running up the hill like Harry Smith, and he still nailed it.
I just think this would be perfect to end this score late.
We've seen it before. I remember Danny Brough kicked one from the touchline at Magic Weekend to draw against Catalans, and we've had games where people have snatched Joe Burgess at Magic Weekend again. This is all Magic Weekend. Against Warrington, snatched a draw with an amazing try. We drew against Saints at Magic Weekend, one of the very first Magics. A draw
is a result.
Everyone talks about that Battle of Good Friday. That game were a draw. That game was a draw, wasn't it?
Just imagine if the Premier League said, right, we don't like draws, so at the end of every draw, we should have a shootout.
I said they should do that because teams do play dead defensively when you try and get a draw. However, in rugby league...
But there's a skill in it.
In rugby league, you can't do it.
There's a skill in that.
You can't play for the draw in rugby league, can you? So, I would suggest, go back to the way it was, where, it was a bit of a drop goal form in minutes 78, 79 and 80. But before that, it wasn't.
And I think as well, when you then get it in a big game, if we were to get a golden point at the end of the season, towards the end of the playoffs, in a final,
cup semi-final like last year,
it takes away from the excitement of it.
And in the cup final.
Because you've seen it. You've seen 5 throughout the season. Teams have had a practice, and then they go, X-kicker has had 3 golden point games where he's had practice.
Depends. If Castleford had nailed one of the 3 drop goals and they hit the post with one, didn't they? If they nailed any of them 3, Castle walking away with 0 points on the board doesn't seem right. But I also don't agree with awarding 2 for a winner and 1 for a loser.
No, I don't. There's 2 points in a game.
I would say if you're drawing at the end of a match, and I've said this before, we've all said this before, if you're drawing at the end of a game, why can't you just take a point apiece? You can't play for the draw, so there's no point in taking that out of it. You should save golden point, like you say, for knockout matches.
I don't think either team deserve to win.
It's just another NRL thing that we've copied because they want more eyes on it, and it does make it more exciting.
Yeah. I just don't think either team deserve to win.
No.
I don't think either of them deserve to lose.
No,
I think
a draw was a fair result because, you know what, Lee did throw some nice things, but Cass answered the bell. And BBC giving Lewis Senior a hat-trick because they don't know there's two senior rowers.
No, I missed that.
BBC again, being BBC. But they deserved it. That final try, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant final try.
Nice to see Pape back for Lee.
We're happy, yeah.
You got a big reception when he come on.
He deserves it.
Rightly so, yeah. The Lee fans love him as a fan favourite at the Sports Village.
Tex Hoy looked good.
Again?
Yeah, he did.
Tex Hoy looked good again.
Never looked happy though on the pictures that they use at Cass.
No.
I've seen them all on the social media.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad player. Look at Jake Wardle.
I know.
I liked Tex Hoy again this week. I feel like we've given him some stick, but maybe it wasn't his fault. He's been playing well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Charlie gets his accustomed try.
Charlie, yeah. He's gone one ahead of Ryan Hall because he didn't score yesterday, didn't he? I'll spoiler again for next week's podcast.
Right. That wraps up Super League. Loads of teams, similar points at the top.
Yeah.
Really exciting for the next couple of weeks.
Should be a good start for the rest of the season.
It should be, yeah, you're right.
We'll be back shortly to go through some predictions. Thank you. Alright, we're going to jump into some NRL. There's been a few shock results last week. Starting off on Thursday, Penrith, not really a shock this one, 42 points to 12 over South Sydney.
Yep.
No coach.
Jason Demetrio got the axe.
Beforehand.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, he got sacked beforehand. Very interesting option to do that, to sack a coach before you go and play Penrith.
Well, there's no one anyway.
Yeah.
Talk of Bennett going back.
Bennett has said that he was going back, then he wasn't going back. Who knows what could happen. Let's talk about that. How weird is that Lamb comment? I know we didn't mention it, but Adrian Lamb saying that who knows, it won't happen in the next days, weeks, but it might happen in months.
Adrian Lamb always plays his cards close to his chest, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, what a weird comment that is. Penrith doing what they do. Nathan Cleary was back. It was a efficient win.
Yeah.
Canberra beat Manly by 2 points.
Yeah, they're back on the horse now, Canberra.
Oh, then he did that.
I think he got pumped a couple of weeks ago.
Up and down at minute, Canberra.
They're on a bye week this week,
That'll help.
so I mean they'll get 3
How
points.
bad is the bye? They lost last week as well.
Yeah, the bye loses every week. Yeah, they give 2. They give 2 points away. Although, I mean, that's what we said about London before.
Who'd win London on the bye?
You don't get any credit.
Sorry, that was harsh.
Some call for that.
Right, moving on. Suncorp, not often Brisbane get beat convincingly. The Roosters win 40 points to 18.
No Adam Reynolds, no win against a good side.
It's really put the foot down.
They're not the same team without Reynolds.
No.
They're really not.
No, not at all.
He's so good. I know he gets... It's hard to say he's underrated because everyone rates him so highly. But he probably is underrated. Yeah.
He's
Nice to see a strong Sydney Roosters team after they had a dip last season.
Yeah, you're right.
Nice to see a strong
Gotta
Sydney
get
team.
the Tricolour's back in business.
Let's just jump up with this. They just announced that they signed David Fafita. That war chest we talked about.
David Fafita, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was
Is it
maybe
a
going to
4-year deal?
Penrith. He's now going to Roosters.
Yeah, turned down
Titans at the minute.
Yeah, Titans.
on over $1 million a year. Going to the Roosters.
Well, they've got.
3 over 4.
We were saying last week they've
They
got
have
some
got
money
a
to
war
spend.
chest,
Jared Warrior, Hargreaves is off.
Tupu,
Luke
Keary,
Keary's retiring.
Suoli.
Tupu's off. Suali and Manu are going to Union. They got some money to spend.
Some serious money that.
Burning a hole, and they call him Uncle Nick, don't they? Nick Politis, the Sydney Roosters manager.
Yeah. Right. Canterbury. They beat West Tigers 22 points to 14. West started off quite well.
Poor John Bateman.
Yeah.
Canterbury doing well though this season
Canterbury
again compared to last season.
I was watching.
They just look better defensively for me.
I was watching the Matty Johns show last night, and he was saying Canterbury have improved so much. They've come on so much leaps and bounds. They're currently 8th.
What a left side that is. Burton, Kickow, Bronson, Sherry, and Adolcar.
Yeah, it's a
That
good...
Sherry has come back. I know he's been on a 4-year ban for, was it steroids or...
It was something like... It was definitely drugs, I don't know.
My goodness me. He has come back and looks... He was rapid, but he was always small and thin.
Yeah.
He has put some size on.
He has put
Probably
some
will do if he's on the
That joke makes itself.
Well,
Right, now...
do you know what, though, as well? So in Canterbury, just one last thing on Canterbury, they look so good in the wrestling. They just win the ruck all the time.
They must have plenty of practice wrestling.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I can't mention Canterbury.
If this is your first podcast, you don't understand what Lewis is talking about there, but...
Jump back to any
Any
episode
podcast.
previous.
Any episode where we've spoken about Canterbury Bulldogs before, it's either been about Tino or in a pub or them wrestling each other for 2.5 hours because one was late for training.
Right. Now we'll jump over to the sunny Gold Coast. Great effort from Desi's men. Melbourne win by 2 points. They just find a way to keep winning. I want to say though, Ryan Pappenhausen, fractured ankle.
He's just got no luck.
That was so incidental though. He just ran back
I
to
know.
tackle a man.
It always is. With him, it's always incidental.
And you can't even say if he'd have just not done this. He keeps pulling his hamstring.
It's so unfortunate. Like he's one of
So
the league's best players when he's on form, isn't he?
I love him. And I know you always compare me to him, Matty, and you talk about it, Gus Gould.
Yeah.
I was listening to his pod and they were talking about him.
6 tackles.
Or they were saying like, don't talk about Origin, and they mentioned Ponga or Walsh. Ponga got injured. They talked about Ryan Pappenhausen being the 14th for New South Wales. He's got injured. I feel so bad for that man.
I can't wait for Origin.
He's my favourite named player in the league. Like, what a name, Pappenhausen.
Oh, speaking of good names, I didn't bring it up. There's another Gary.
No way.
There is? For Cass. There's another Gary.
Wow. Right.
We did an Origin special last year and nobody listened to it.
Yeah.
But we really like Origin.
So it's probably going to come back because it's in team with no listeners.
Exactly. The Finns. Just love the Finns.
Yeah, the
They're
Finns.
sitting pretty near the top of the table in form.
They're doing well, yeah, they're doing very well.
So well. 28 points to 26. They were well on top, and they just kept letting the Cowboys back into it. But
Cowboys have fallen off, haven't they?
yeah, they're really struggling, the Cowboys. Newcastle beat New Zealand, doing it without Ponga. Massive sign for them.
Yeah.
14 points to 8.
What about the Wars? They've fallen off as well, haven't they?
They've lost so many games so close.
The
haven't
resurgence of these other teams we've been talking about, Canterbury and what was the one you just said? Oh, Roosters. That it's come at a cost of Warriors.
Yeah. North Queensland.
And North Queensland, yeah.
Big time. Final game last week, Cronulla, St George. The question was, could Shane Flanagan pull a trick against his old team? No, he couldn't.
No.
20 points to 10.
The Sharks have looked okay. They've obviously won a lot of games. The Sharks and the Storm, in fact. But the Sharks have had quite an easy schedule. They had a couple of byes already. They played a lot of bottom teams. Them two sides play each other this week. I can't wait for that. Storm and the Sharks. Good game, that.
Right.
Good game. If that was in this country, it would be the equivalent. I guess it would be like Hull and Warrington last week. Two sides who've had really good starts, and you're trying to see are they the real deal? Yeah.
Right, we'll jump onto predictions. Spoiler alert, we already know the result of the first game.
Yes.
But we got the viewers' votes in before the game.
We did.
Lewis, you voted before the game, and I'm dropping you in it because you backed Hull KR.
I did.
Me and Matty went Warrington.
We did.
Fans went Hull KR, 56%. They saw it being close.
Yeah, that was the closest one this week.
It was close.
Worth mentioning who's winning. That you just want to read out scores there.
Yeah. So I'm in last place on 41 points. Lewis on 42. Matty on 43.
Yeah.
It's much easier when you're doing it much more difficult when you're doing it by yourself and you're trying to compete. It seems to be that the listeners who are sat on 47 points, the power of people,
Power of the people. Yeah, I like it.
Democracy wins usually. I can't feel that I'm fighting against democracy here. So let's jump back into predictions. Castleford
Saints.
Castleford Saints. Sam Essay is going to get a game for Saints.
No.
Oh my goodness me, I'm having a shocker.
He's lost it.
Let's start again, Tom. Castleford Saints. Sam Essay is now going to get his debut for Castleford.
Yes.
Busy week for him playing for Saints and Castleford. Who you win for, lads?
Sam Essay is playing for both teams.
Yeah. Sam Essay guaranteed to be on the win side.
Yeah.
Well, we have put this out, like, so we're not going to sit here and pretend to think about who's going to win like we usually do. We've all gone for Saints, haven't we?
Yeah.
It'll be too strong, I think.
All for Saints. Only 78% gone for Saints.
That always happens with our listeners. It always
people back blindly.
Blind bet against St. Helens. It always happens. There's always 10% or so that just go, not betting for them.
Never happened. So we've all gone Saints.
Yes.
Lee, Salford. I'll go first, lads. I've gone Lee. Who have you gone, guys?
I backed you and went Lee as well.
I've gone with the listeners, and, 60% of the listeners anyway, and gone for Salford.
That's an interesting one. I feel like being really close.
I can as well. Salford have been really good so far. But then I've had some horrible games.
Yeah. Right. Leeds travel to Catalans. Can we see Roman Smith's men turning up there and doing a job, or
No.
anything?
No, Catalan win.
All aboard Catalan train.
Yeah.
72% of the listeners have gone Catalan. I think that's a fair reflection. We know Leeds can play. Got talent,
Leeds
could
have got
turn them
talent.
over,
Leeds have they beaten Catalan already this year?
you know what? Looking at that 72%, I think it would be fair to say if they play this game 10 times, I'd back Catalan for 7 of them. I think that's probably fair. Leeds would do them occasionally, but
It's probably fair. The next one isn't.
no. London Hull FC.
Yep.
I can't even. Everyone's gone Hull FC.
Yeah.
Everyone has gone to Hull FC. The listeners only gone 75%. I don't think London win 1 every 4 games against Hull FC.
No, I really don't.
Not sure they win 1 every 44, unfortunately.
No, I've got a keen eye on this. Going to be watching for Tiaki Champlain.
Yeah.
See how he goes. Should be a really good game for him to
And
get
he'll
into.
be going against Harvey Macon.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Two Wigan
He's been
lads.
playing.
out there.
Macon's been playing for him.
Last one. Let's talk about Wigan Huddersfield. I'm going to keep it short. I ask you every week, how do you see Wigan winning this game? If Wigan win, what do they have to do right? I think again, we've got to be strong up front. I know there's criticism of one-up plays and things like that. When you've got a dominant pack, a dominant pack wins competitions. It wins games.
Yeah,
Your pack's decided by how many, and that's where we win it.
I can't see us doing this, but there is a potential danger whenever you play Huddersfield that the so-called dark arts comes to fruition. You start to perhaps get drawn in, like we saw when they played Saints. I would hope we'd stay well clear of that and try and beat them ourselves, but it'll be very interesting. It's almost like, well, we are the best attacking side in the league, as I've said a few times. They're obviously very process-driven, as we always say. It's going to be an interesting clash of styles, I think.
I think so, yeah. How do we win this game? I think, like we played the second day for Catalan, go back to what we know. And again, I'm not, like you said, one-up plays, kicking early. I've been the territory battle. And then when we get our opportunities, it'll be a dry track. That's Renfield and French and people come into the door on a dry track when they're moving quickly. So just let them work the magic. But we've got to earn the right to play a good ball. And
Another Harry Smith masterclass.
Yeah. Every game, you just summed it up, Lewis. Every game, first 10 minutes, I don't care, we don't pull any shape, do anything. Just batter them down the middle. Earn the right. If we pin them, we always talk about it with my dad, always that, the 5x5 box.
Yeah.
If we turn the ball over every set in that corner, and then, or last tackle power play, I'm okay with that. End it in their half, make them work hard. That's my opinion on this game. I would take that from now for the rest of the season if Wigan at 0-0 at 10 minutes in and have been dominant in the pack. That's my opinion. I would take that
Well, that's how teams who win grand finals not been playing it. That's what we do.
Right, lads. It's been a fun episode. A little bit later in the week. We'll be back on Monday, Tuesday, to give you early week's content. Thank you for listening. Lewis, thank you for joining us. Matty, thanks for coming along.
Yep, good stuff.
And we'll
enjoy your rugby this weekend, guys.
Yeah,
enjoy
catch you later. Bye.
Enjoy your rugby league.
Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.